This story is a warning to all parents out there. Always be aware of your surroundings, especially with kids. Last year, I took my son to the playground not too far from my house. It was summertime, so we were not the only ones there, and it was pretty packed. My son was 4 at the time, and he loves to run around and swing on the swings. I was watching my son play when this man approached me. He was good looking, maybe in his mid-30s, clean-shaved and well put together. For context purposes, I'm a single mom, so anytime I meet a good-looking man, I'm usually more prone to have a conversation and listen. So I'm watching my kid, and this man comes up to me. He introduced himself as Shelton. He was very straightforward with me. He told me that I was beautiful and all that stuff. I'll admit, I was blushing a bit. We started talking about normal stuff, when it quickly dawned on me that this man appeared to be alone. While I was talking to him, I kept my eyes on my son the entire time, but he didn't seem to be paying attention to any of the children, making me think that he was here alone. Which begged the question, why would a full-grown adult come to a playground full of children all alone? And that's when I saw another man. He sort of appeared out of nowhere. He looked similar to Shelton, and I saw him start walking over to my son who was on the swings. The whole time this was happening, Shelton kept trying to stand in my way, almost blocking my view from my son. That's when I saw the other man go up to my son and bend down to talk to him. I immediately stopped the conversation and went over to my son. I grabbed him by the hand and told him to come with me. The man who was trying to talk to him made this creepy comment about how handsome he was. My motherly instincts went off, and I knew what was going on here. I blew up in his face, started screaming at him never to come near him again. He just laughed, and him and Shelton both joined together and then walked away. I watched them both very carefully as I saw them go to the parking lot and get into this beat-up truck. I started telling the other parents in the playground to be very careful of those 2 men, and that if they come back, call the police. I believe their plan was to have Shelton distract me, while the other one tried to lure my son away without me noticing. You'd think this stuff would only happen in a horror movie, but this stuff happens all the time. So, as I said in the beginning, parents, please be aware of your surroundings. Evil does exist in this world. Protect your children at all costs. When I was 12 and my little brother was 6, we would both go to this playground we had that was right behind our house. I thought it was the coolest thing ever, because it was such a quick walk, and it gave us hours of entertainment together. Well, one day, while my brother and I were at the playground, I was trying my hardest to completely cross the monkey bars without falling. Like, I was determined not to. It took me a couple of tries, but I finally got it. I was so happy, and when I got down off them, I wanted to ask my little brother if he saw it. But that's when I couldn't find him. There was like 3 other kids with us there who I did not know, but I didn't see my brother at all. I thought maybe he was hiding or something, so I started calling out his name. When he didn't respond, I decided to go walk down the small path the playground had that went into some woods. I rounded the first corner, and I saw this unknown man holding hands with my brother, and they were walking to this blue Honda Civic that was parked at the end of the path. Even at 12, I knew this wasn't good. I ran up to my brother and yanked him away. When I did, the man looked scared, and I watched as he sprinted away to his blue Honda. I tore my brother a new one. I said he was stupid and an idiot for following a stranger. Now this part will make me seem like an idiot as well. I loved to go to the park so much without my parents. I knew if I told them about what had just happened, we would be banned from going. So I told my brother to shut up about it and say nothing to my parents when we got back home. Later that same night, I was up in my room playing my PSP. My bedroom faced the main street that ran along our neighborhood. It was late, and I kept noticing headlights passing back and forth across my window. Curious, because it was so late, I decided to look outside it. When I got to my window, I saw that same blue Honda Civic driving by our house very slowly. And at this point, I was horrified that this man was going to kill or kidnap my little brother. I didn't care if I couldn't go to the playground anymore, and I knew that I had to tell my parents. I woke them up and told them everything. My parents got the police involved, and we made several reports. Because I didn't have a good description of the man or his license plate, they couldn't do much to help out. And as I figured, me and my brother were both banned from going to the playground without our parents anymore. I guess I'm just glad my brother did not become a statistic. So this was one of the creepiest things that's ever happened to me. A while back, my girlfriend and I were hanging out at this park near my house. It was late, like 10 at night, but that was our favorite time to go, because there usually was no one there, and we had the playground to ourselves. We were both swinging on the swings, just talking about random stuff, when this car pulled up to the parking lot, right in front of us. And I was a bit pissed, because this was one of the only times I was able to be with my girlfriend alone, but it was a public park, so I couldn't get too mad. We continued talking and swinging as we watched this older lady get out of the car and walk towards us. We thought this was a bit odd, but what was even weirder was that she sat right next to us on the swings. And it was pretty awkward at this point. Me and my girlfriend stayed quiet, the creaks of the swings being the only noise in the night. As the awkwardness and the tension kept building, the old lady randomly said to both of us, "Do you fear dying?" My girlfriend and I both looked at her fully. She looked like she could have been a grandmom. I didn't know how to properly respond to such a random and odd question. I finally spoke up and just said, "No, I don't fear dying." There was a long pause. The old lady was swinging slowly back and forth on the swing when she said, "Well, you should." And at that point, it was too much. I could see how uncomfortable my girlfriend was becoming, and the questions and statements this lady was asking were just downright creepy. Without a word, I grabbed my girlfriend by her hand, and we both started to head back to my house. As we started to walk down the path, I noticed that in the distance, the old lady was following us. We started to jog a bit faster until we made it back to my parents' house. We made it inside and locked the doors. I looked out my front windows and saw that lady was standing in our driveway. She had followed us all the way back to my place. And what was even more disturbing, she seemed to be studying the house, almost as if she was looking for another way to get in. I had to tell my parents, and I went up into their bedroom and explained the situation. But when we all came back downstairs, the old lady was gone. My parents kind of thought I was overreacting a bit, especially since she was an older lady. But I honestly was creeped the hell out, and so was my girlfriend. We continued to go to the playground after that happened, but never at night anymore. I never saw that old lady again.